Hey, happy Wednesday. Already the 19th of November. Not really much in the way of snow chances over the next week, as the expected second half of November, pretty mild pattern is upon us. But we'll dive through a couple rain chances, temperature trends. We'll talk about the pattern going into December and how, yes, it should eventually get more active, colder, and snowy as well. For right now, high pressure pushing across the Great Lakes, but still a decent chunk of cloud cover. That one low across portions of the Mid-Atlantic, pushing showers out, and they will continue to exit, and that will be the trend. Lower 40s, generally speaking, give or take a few degrees on either side across our entire region at this point. So yes, it is definitely on the chilly side of things for sure. We are seeing a pretty good jump of warm weather in the next 10 days across a decent portion of the country, at least the eastern half, for average considerations, but definitely very warm across the southeast, that's for sure. It's been pretty warm across the Rockies in the portions of the plains over this month, and then relatively cool to closer to average across much of the east. We are going to go into that Mann-Julian oscillation pattern number 7. So this pattern dictates kind of correlations with different precipitation temperature trends across the United States, depending on what stage it's in. As it swings around that wheel, the further away from the wheel it gets in these different boxes allows us to tell the kind of strength of the signal. So as it gets out away from the circle a little bit into phase 7 by early December, that is going to likely indicate better chances for cold across the central and eastern United States. But it's pretty benign of a pattern. It's generally mild air mixing with some cold, a little bit up and down. We do get a batch of colder air to come in around Thanksgiving, especially a brief one. It'll be a little potent. That mild air moves way off towards the southeast, and then it recedes. It looks like by the end of that November period into the start of December, it's back to being a little bit more mild, except for the middle portion of the country that is going to have a role in anchoring a little bit more cold weather, and eventually that should translate further off towards the east. But for this week, we got the rain showers over the course of the next couple days into the middle portion of the country that's going to swing on out in towards starting to get into the general region by Friday. You can see some showers into Indiana, Ohio, and then sliding into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast with a frontal boundary. And those showers continue to move across portions of our East Coast cities by later in the day Saturday into portions to close the weekend. They will all be out, and it will be more high pressure that builds back in briefly. And then another system's going to be forming as we go across portions of the middle portion of the country, and maybe a few snowflakes on the backside into upstate New York. That would really be about it. Not much of anything. This system's going to eject out with a pretty good amount of moisture. There could be some storms possibly into the middle portion of the country with this, and then just regular rain showers for the most part into our area as this gathers a little steam early next week into the middle portion of the week and moves across portions of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Massachusetts. Again, maybe a little snow on the extreme northern and northwestern side of it, but for the most part, this is not going to be impactful in the winter way at all through the middle portions of next week. As you see in the next week, really much of the country not seeing, even those higher terrain areas out west, not much snow at all. Even much of Canada, not much snow at all. So we're not going to build enough of a snowpack to get a lot of cold air to come down by the time we get into very end of November, very early December. But there will be some changes. We're laying the ground for a wetter pattern, and with that, in the combination of some better cold, will yield some snowier chances. This is the probability of 3 inches of snow falling by the time we get into December 4th. Where you see that red color, it is pretty much a lock, and that is over a much larger area of Canada than what we've seen. So we're going to build a snowpack there. Lake effect will get going. Snow belts will again have a chance to kind of see above average snowfall. Plenty snow out into the high terrain of the Rockies, and even chances of snow out across portions of like Kansas and portions of Ohio and much of Pennsylvania, maybe into northern Jersey and to Connecticut. So we'll see. At least that is going to be kind of the subject of what could be a little bit of a bigger pattern change. Certainly by mid-December, I should say, we are going to get into colder, more sustained batches. We'll have some snows, at least lake effect, a couple systems. It's just a matter of, is it going to happen December 2nd, 5th, 7th, exactly the timing and how widespread and how long lasting it'll be. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.